Hello learners, this is Habiba with Excel with me. If you like the video, please do like, share, subscribe and comment below. Let's start today's class, that is UGC NET Paper 2 Education Unit 3 Learner and Learning Process with the subtopic Principles and Theories of Learning, under which we are going to learn today concept of social cognition. Now, what is social cognition? Social, that is relating to society. Cognition means the mental process. What thinking we will have in the society, that is related to society, that is social cognition. Now, social cognition is the encoding, storage, retrieval, and processing of information about members of the similar species from a human viewpoint. It is simply the ability to think about and understand others. That is, cognition means thinking ability. Now, what we are going to think in the society, about the society, viewpoint of society, viewpoint of human beings. This is the information about the members of similar species, that is related to human beings viewpoint. That is very important, what we are thinking about others, what we are understanding about others. That is the way we attend to store, remember and use information about other people and the world around us. This is the first impression. When we see somebody, this person is like this, we will have some impressions in our mind. We will think about that person. Sometimes we call it as prejudices, having judgment about others. Sometimes may be positive, it may be negative. That means thinking about other people. Social cognition is a specific approach of social psychology, the area of psychology that studies how people's thoughts and practices are impacted by the presence of others. If somebody is present in front of you, what kind of thoughts you will have and what kind of practices you will have, all these things are related to social cognition. That means how individual process information about the people around them and how does that influence their own perception of the world, how we are thinking about others and what impact will have on others and what kind of impact we will give with our behavior to the others. Now, social cognitive theory has been developed here, SCT, that is social cognitive theory, started as the social learning theory, that is SLT, in the 1960s by Albert Bandura. It developed into the social cognitive theory in 1986 and posits that learning occurs in a social context with the dynamic and reciprocal interaction of the person, environment and behavior. In the previous classes, we have learned about the Bobo doll experiment done by Bandura in social learning theory. After social learning theory, it has been developed into social cognitive theory. That means how our thinking develops living in the society, interacting with people, about the environment, about the behavior, etc. Then the unique feature of SCT, that is social cognitive theory, is the emphasis on social influence and its emphasis on external and internal social reinforcement. That is, SCT considers the unique way in which individuals acquire and maintain behavior while also considering the social environment in which individuals perform their behavior. Obviously, what kind of behavior we have at home, the same thing we cannot have outside in the society. That means we have to learn the proper behavior. Sometimes the same behavior what we have in the house, that is, if it is a positive behavior, that will impact the other individuals also in a positive way. If sometimes we take leniency with our parents and we behave something else, the same thing we cannot repeat in the society. That means the environment in which the individuals perform his behavior is very, very important. The theory takes into account a person's past experiences which factor into whether behavioral action will occur. These past experiences influences reinforcements, expectations and expectancies, all of which shape whether a person will engage in a specific behavior and the reason why a person engages in that behavior. That is very important. This theory always keeps in mind about the past experiences and what kind of influences, whether maybe positive reinforcement, whether maybe negative reinforcement, how these expectancies will develop and how these expectancies will fulfill their needs in the society. The goal of SCT, that is social cognitive theory, is to explain how people regulate their behavior through control and reinforcement to achieve goal directed behavior that can be maintained over time. Yes, what is the main aim of this theory? They will learn the behavior through control. Sometimes if I go in outside to meet somebody, that discussion is not fruitful for me. I will not immediately give my negative feelings or thoughts. I have to control myself. I have to say myself that I have to listen, and then if I am able to give any positive discussion to them to change their behavior or their mindset, that is okay. If it is not happening, then I have to control myself. And then also positive reinforcement will lead to the goal directed behavior, which behavior we need in future, that it will lead. The first 5 constructs were developed as part of SLT, which we are going to discuss in next slides. The construct of self-efficacy was added when the theory evolved into SCT. So let's understand those 6 constructs of social learning theory. First one is reciprocal determinism. This is the central concept of SCT. That is, this refers to the dynamic and reciprocal interaction of the person, that is individual with a set of learned experiences, that is environment, that is external social context, and behavior, that is responses to stimuli to achieve goals. What kind of stimuli, that is what kind of encouragement we are getting, or provoking we are getting, what kind of things, that is person, environment and the behavior. These 3 dimensions are important for the social cognitive learning or social cognitive theory or social learning theory, whatever. These 3 aspects are very, very important. Then reciprocal determinism, environment, that means environment influences the individual. Then behavior influences, obviously behavior also will be changed because of the environment, what kind of environment we are getting. Then environment, behavior and psychological processes work together. Second one is behavioral capabilities. This refers to a person's actual ability to perform a behavior through essential knowledge and skills in order to successfully perform a behavior. A person must know what to do and how to do it. People learn from the consequences of their behavior, and then which also affects the environment in which they live. First, capabilities and also motivation, then opportunity. They will lead to the best behavior. If the person is having capabilities, obviously nobody can deny in achieving their goals. And then with the capabilities, if they get best motivation to learn something, that is boosting to that. Then if that person is getting opportunities to achieve something, that is, it will lead to the best behavior. Then observational learning. This asserts that people can witness and observe a behavior conducted by others and then reduce those actions. This is often exhibited through modeling of behaviors. If individuals see successful demonstration of a behavior, they can also complete the behavior successfully. That is by observing somebody. From the childhood or from infancy, what will happen? They will observe things and they will learn. Then they will change their behaviors. That is modeling. By seeing somebody else doing something, definitely we will also get inspired to do. So this observational learning also happens in this theory. Then observational learning, what is the definition of it? Observe and imitate others. Then modeling, process of observing and imitating a specific behavior. And then we learn all kinds of social behaviors by observing and imitating others. If we are children, we will try to imitate our parents. When we grow up, we will try to imitate our teachers. When further as youngsters, if somebody is inspiring them, that modeling they will take up in future. Then fourth one is reinforcement. This refers to the internal or external responses to a person's behavior that affect the likelihood of continuing or discontinuing the behavior. Then reinforcements can be self-initiated or in the environment, and reinforcements can be positive or negative. Already I have discussed, always whatever kind of thing is there, here positive and negative both can be seen. This is the construct of SCT that most closely ties to the reciprocal relationship between behavior and environment. Reinforcement, you are doing good, you are better, these are the positive reinforcements. You cannot do anything, you are like this only. If you are saying like that, that means that is negative. It will lead to the stress, not to the success at all. Always positive reinforcement is recommended. Then reinforcement theory of motivation, under which positive reinforcement and negative I said. Let's see some examples here. What is positive reinforcement? Strengthens a response by presenting something that is perceived as appetitive, that is pleasant, after a behavior is emitted. If I performed something, somebody is appreciating me with a positive manner, definitely I will excel and I will get inspiration to do more better things. Then immediately praising an employee for coming early for job. Sometimes we go early. Maybe that head will take it in a positive manner and praise, or they can ignore. If they are giving positive reinforcement, definitely that person will get good motivation to do better and excel. Negative reinforcement strengthens a response by removing a negative undesirable consequences after a behavior is emitted. If constantly being reminded to be more productive, that will go to the negative reinforcement. Then fifth one is expectations. This refers to the anticipated consequences of a person's behavior. People anticipate the consequences of their actions before engaging in the behavior, and these anticipated consequences can influence successful completion of the behavior. Expectations derive largely from previous experience. Obviously, whatever we have experienced previously, we anticipate things to be better in future. That is what expectancies, what are the consequences if I do this. That is important. They anticipate all the consequence beforehand with the past experience. They will lead to the successful completion of their behavior. Then sixth one, lastly, self-efficacy. This refers to the level of a person's confidence in his or her ability to successfully perform a behavior. That means self they should have. If they believe in themselves, they will excel in future. Self-efficacy is unique to SCT, although other theories have added this construct at later dates, such as the theory of planned behavior. Self-efficacy is influenced by a person's specific capabilities and other individual factors, as well as by environmental factors, barriers and facilitators. If the person is confident about their abilities, they will excel in their life. Then social cognitive theory under this self-efficacy. Let's see once again with some example here. Believing oneself capable of successfully performing certain behaviors or reaching certain goals. That is, if I want to reach some goal, I should have the ability and confidence in me to reach that goal successfully. Then what is crucial to motivation here? Learners more apt to initiate, exert effort in, and persist an activity for which they have high self-efficacy. Then comes from past successes in an activity to certain degree. Sometimes if I have done something good in past, I will have some confidence that definitely I will do good in future also. Then social factors can boost self-efficacy. This is encouraging words if they are given to the children maybe, or elders or adults, anybody. Positive things motivates the person very well. Then successful peer models also, if we give example of some successful peers also, definitely they will get motivated. That should be in a positive way. Let's conclude this topic. Social cognition studies how people think about themselves and the social world, how they select, interpret, remember and use social information to make judgments and decisions. Social cognition theory used in psychology, education and communication holds that portions of an individual's knowledge acquisition can be directly related to observing others within the context of social interactions, experiences and outside media influences. Sometimes media also influences the person. In this theory, that's what says behavioral changes occurs because of the sometimes motivation or sometimes the inspiration. Sometimes it may be negative things shown in the media or sometimes positive things shown in the media. This theory was advanced by Albert Bandura as an extension of his social learning theory. So we come to the end of this session. If you like the video, please do like, share, subscribe and comment below. Thanks for your attention and time. Happy learning.